love the glass.
He sure did.
Finger roll, puts it up and in.
George, the Iceman Gervin, certainly left his mark in the NBA.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hello and good day to you all. How's it going? My name is Sean David and I welcome you back to the Basketball Time Machine. In today's episode, I want to go a little bit more old school. I want to take a look at NBA legends giving their opinion about how good George Gervin, aka the Iceman, really was. But before we dive into that, let me ask you guys for a small favor. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy the content. Alright, enough said, let's get right into it. Now the first player's opinion that I want to take a look at is from Spencer Haywood, who obviously played against George Gervin. Let's have a look.
They call him the Iceman, Mr. Cool.
George Gervin and I started playing with each other and playing. He played for me in my first AAU team when he was 15 and I was 18. I just came back from the Olympics with my gold medal on my neck and stuff. And so they said, put together an AAU team. And I recruited George Gervin, Bubba Hawkins, and all of those guys. And George, after the first few practices, we were like, he's gonna get 40 every game because no one could stop him.
George Gervin was so good that there was nothing you could really do defensively against him because he had the moves, he had the shooting touch, he had the imagination, and he had the ability to create everything for himself.
Iceman, that's my rookie right there. You know, he's, I see him today. I'm 71 and he's 69 probably, maybe 70. I say, come here, Rook. I need a soft drink. I need sugar for my coffee, whatever, you know. And he responds to it, and we just laugh. So we have come full cycle right from that first day when he showed up, and he had to shoot for his contract, and he was out there dropping 3-pointers like they were free throws. I'm like, oh, we got a special guy here.
Everybody know Iceman, baby, if you know George Gervin. You know, kids-wise, I go and say, I'm George Gervin. They say, who? What you? I say, Iceman.
George Gervin, the Iceman.
George Gervin was so far ahead of his time, it was unbelievable.
This guy stands out there and he shoots, 3-point shots like they're layups, and he shoots layups differently than anybody else.
Checks that shot out. The ultimate finger roll.
One thing that I could do is finger roll.
Finger roll. Finger roll.
And the Iceman, what a play.
I just think that was just a great shot for me. Because couldn't nobody block it, You just roll it over their fingertips, and they think they got it, and it just roll over.
I know the Iceman poster. I had that poster.
Silver sweatsuit, ball, on each hand.
Sitting on the block of ice with his legs crossed.
Best poster ever. I entertain people. They knew when they came to see ice, they were going to at least do this one time. Oh, good shot.
And the next player's opinion that I want to take a look at is from Steve Smith, who was a huge George Gervin fan back in the days. Let's take a look.
Well, George Gervin certainly hits a little closer to home for you.
It does, Jared. Hey, he's a Detroit native from the east side of Detroit. He's the reason why I love the game of basketball. Not only that, George Gervin was one of these guys everybody loved, but being from Detroit, I got a chance to see him, talk to him, be around him, pick his brain, and he's always been that guy for me that I got a chance just from an early age that I can count on asking questions, as a guy in high school. Then as our relationship continues, here's a guy I could pick his brain, talk about the NBA, and then I got a chance to play in San Antonio, the same organization that he made a lot of things famous, like the finger roll.
When you start going back to guard shots, George, the Iceman Gervin.
You got
finger roll.
Finger roll.
Yeah. The shot of all guards.
Yeah, that is a signature move.
There was one thing that George Gervin did that I still haven't seen anybody in the game do. We were taught, use the backboard is your friend. Everything's got to be in the square, bank it in the square. George Gervin used all of the glass.
He sure did.
I mean, I would watch him practice warming up, and he would stand and he would spin it, and it would hit the top of the glass.
Yes.
And
25, 50 in a row.
Yeah, and
trickle down.
And it's almost like he would spin it up, and you would hear it go, eek!
Yeah.
and it would just come straight back down. He'd do a right hand, left hand, any part of the glass. I mean, any part of the glass. He could find a spin or something to make it work. Whereas 99.9% of the players playing, we have to put that ball
right there
in the square to make it go in.
Gervin, the Iceman.
He was developing the finger roll when he was 15. At that time in Detroit, we used to love watching Wilt Chamberlain finger roll. So George, developed that finger roll, and he was above the rim anyway, so he just laid it in nicely, beautifully.
Wow.
Very difficult shot, really is. You got the little runners, get the little push shots that these guys have. But not many people got that little finger roll where it just rolls right off his fingers and just rolls right in. Over 7 footers. Didn't even matter. And if he had to throw it up a little high, he'll say stuff like, get the next one. He's stretching out. I mean, he's talking while he's doing this.
Oh, yes. George Gervin with a tremendous one-on-one move.
He had incredible style, and one of them was the finger roll, So I said to George, you're not really the first person to do the finger roll. It was Wilt Chamberlain just kind of dumped the ball in, finger roll. George said, hey, I just took it to another level.
He's smooth. He's the Iceman.
Ice was real cool. That's what he was on the court. He was real smooth on the basketball court. He was good under pressure. So I think that nickname was great for him.
I didn't sweat much at that time, because I was 160 pounds, so I really had that much water in me to sweat. So that's how I really got my nickname. Fatty Rolling Taylor and Julius Erving started calling me Ice, and I'm Ice.
Back then, when you went to see Ice in person, they didn't have the scoreboard with the points. So then they would say the points at the end, and you'd watch the whole Spurs game. You'd be there in the building. And they'd be like, blah, 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 blah. And George Gervin had 43. And be like, George Gervin had 43? I thought he had like 24. And it was like, no, he had like 10 points a quarter. And then in the third quarter, he had 13. And that's how he got to 43. And it's like, I was there. I didn't even notice.
Jerry West, the logo, once said there's one player he would pay money to see play. The Iceman, George Gervin. I'm telling you, you kids just don't know how good George Gervin was. When the topic of the best scorers in basketball history comes up, you hear the usual suspects. Kareem, Michael, Wilt, Kobe, James Harden. But there's one name that's too often left out of the discussion. That of George Gervin, the Iceman, one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. Here's why. Number 1, the Iceman's resume is beyond impressive. 9-time NBA All-Star, 3-time ABA All-Star, 1980 NBA All-Star MVP, 7 times All-NBA, including 5 first-team honors. The Iceman averaged more than 26 points a game during his NBA career. That's more than Kareem, more than Kobe, more than Karl Malone, more than Larry Bird, more than James Harden, Oscar Robertson, Dominique Wilkins. I could go on and on.
The free throw line.
Those finger rolls from the free throw line or even from behind the backboard. He could score at will. He could score inside and outside. He
He was just a great player.
And this may go. It does. The shot is good by Gervin.
So how good was George Gervin, aka the Iceman, in my opinion? Well, not only was he one of the greatest scorers that we have ever seen, but when I talk about and think about the 1970s and 1980s NBA basketball, he's always one of the first players that come to mind. So much love to George Gervin from my side. And to you guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.